The Depth Charger. Ambra and Jevon followed Quill down a dimly lit spiral stairway to the docks underneath Atlantum. Ambra surveyed the vessels moored. There must have been 100 of them, all shapes and sizes, clearly designed for different purposes: research, travel, supply ships, and a fleet of 2-passenger aquapods. "Not like a Terran dock, is it?" said Quill. "You'd expect to find yachts, trawlers or cruise ships with their decks open to the fresh air. Of course we Ondans travel under the sea to avoid detection, and thus all vehicles in our fleet are designed for submarine travel." Quill made his way along a gangplank to a series of gleaming vessels, the sea lapping at their hulls. "Here we are," he said, pointing proudly, as if introducing his Terran guest to an old friend. "The Depth Charger." "Oh, yeah," said Jevon, nodding his approval. "I'm not getting into that," exclaimed Ambra. "It looks like it will sink at any second. Don't you have anything more modern?" From the outside, the vessel looked like something NASA would have built if they had a marine steampunk division. More like a work of art than a transportation vehicle, it was streamlined, yet exquisite in the intricacy and craftsmanship of its design. "It's perfectly seaworthy," Quill reassured her. Ambra could see her reflection in the burnished bronze sheen of the Depth Charger's exterior. Quill opened the entry porthole to the ship, and the three of them clambered on board. "So this thing can travel anywhere in the world super fast," mused Ambra while opening doors and exploring the layout of the vehicle. It was big enough to accommodate 6 people in 3 different rooms, along with a common area and small galley, as well as the navigation room. There looked to be enough supplies in the galley to last a week. "We can get to the coast of anywhere on the globe inside 15 hours. We took the best of Terran hydro engineering and developed it further for use in our fleet. Once up to speed, these things require no fuel. They simply run on churning seawater through a hyper-efficient turbine," said Quill. "Can I drive it?" asked Jevon, running his hands lovingly over the banks of lights, controls, dials and switches. "You don't need to. Well, not once we are in the open water. They are autonomous vehicles," explained Quill. Ambra disguised a grin as Jevon's face fell. "Shall we get underway?" suggested Quill, as he began the Depth Charger's ignition sequence and entered the coordinates for Venice, Italy. "We have to get these materials to your mother ASAP, so she can make the announcement before Necro is able to misrepresent it for his own purposes, and we cannot delay." Pointing to 2 seats, he added, "I must insist you strap yourselves in for now, at least until we get going in the open ocean." Ambra and Jevon obeyed, settling into their seats and securing themselves. A powerful engine began to shake the ship, as Quill deftly manoeuvred the craft away from the dock. Throat constricted, Ambra's eyes followed the waterline as it rose up outside the ship until the vessel was completely immersed. The lights in the cabin glowed brighter as the darkness enveloped them. Quill clicked a series of lit buttons on the navigation panel which opened the dock gates directly beneath them. As she watched the blinking red and yellow lights on the gates rising past the ship as it descended into the deep, Ambra placed her hand on her stomach and commenced a breathing technique she had learned in therapy. Then the Depth Charger was clear of Atlantum. Quill pushed a lever to increase the power and another to thrust the vessel forward. As he did so, a G-force greater than a Boeing about to take off kicked in, triggering an acute adrenaline rush. "Woohoo!" yelled Jevon. Ambra laughed with glee, momentarily forgetting her fear of being submerged. Quill chuckled at their reaction, twisted the navigation lever to bank left and upward slightly, then switched to autopilot. They were off.